So many birds singing.
Yeah. And the well-being. Yeah, got it.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of The Birders Show. We're coming to you here from Caldas department in the Colombian Central Andes for the next 3 episodes of The Birders Show.
Live in the field, the Birders Show in Colombia. We kind of know this place, so it would be nice to be around. And we're going to be on the Central Andes, Caldas department. This is kind of the core of the Central Andes. There's going to be a lot of birds, a lot of different habitats, and it couldn't be more exciting.
I think we're in for a fun few days. Some good birding. Some fun other experiences as well. We're gonna pick coffee,
see some cool orchids, and beautiful local enterprises. We're gonna meet with beautiful people along the way.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's exciting to be finally bringing the Birders Show on the road in Colombia, where we both live and do our birding.
Doing birding more open, inclusive, fun, cool for us.
Absolutely.
For everyone.
Cheers to that.
Salud.
Coffee, salud.
Absolutely.
We're at Hacienda Venecia coffee farm. This is a coffee producing area, but it's also surrounded by forests, by rivers, by all this vegetation that you can see here, so lots of great birding opportunities and a great place to get fresh Colombian coffee first thing in the morning, actually all the time. And the birds are really nice, they're really active, lots of very colourful birds.
This is our first morning here in the Eje Cafetero, the coffee area of the Central Andes in Colombia. The patches that are still around here are surviving are very important because birds are using those patches to survive. We're very excited. There's been already like parrots, there's a streak saltator singing right now, bar-crested antshrikes, tons of hummingbirds, tanagers. This is one of those areas that is like boom, 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 birds all the time. Birding is not only about the rarities, as we've said several times. Birding is about connecting with birds. And Juan, the owner of Hacienda Venecia, was telling to us, I don't sometimes even know the names. I just sit here to listen to the birds and connect with nature that way.
He was telling us about a very special project that he's working on here, which fits in really nicely with our mission here on the Birders Show, which is to make birding more accessible to local people in the region, particularly children.
Sophia is one of the kids from the school that basically got engaged with the activity of bird watching. That has given us a lot of things to develop, because then we said, okay, let's expand it and create a club, a bird watchers club of the locals.
And we were lucky enough to spend some time with probably, I guess you'd call her the outstanding member, the most passionate member of that young birders club, Sofía.
Tienes binoculares. A nosotros nos prestaron unos para prestarte, que son de estos mismos verdecitos. Entonces te queremos prestar unos por el día para que los uses, que son cowa, que son súper chéveres, y sabes que es lo más bacano, que te los podemos prestar hoy, esta mañana, para pajarear. ¿Nos ayudas a armarlos para ponerles todo esto para que los puedas usar o qué? Sí, nos sentamos donde trata.
Ellos saltan.
Como las ardillas.
Sí, por eso creo que se llaman cucaratillas.
¿Será?
Pero la verdad,
¿Cómo la mueven?
Ay, yo me paro aquí al frente mío. Ay, no.
¡Qué belleza!
Ya entienden por qué mi pájaro favorito.
Ah, no, te entiendo, pero pues, totalmente. Ya tengo yo un nuevo pájaro favorito. She was like eager, keen, she was totally like super cool to come birding with us. She was smart, she was cute, she was sweet, she was brilliant. ¿Te sabes ya nombres de pájaros de acá o no?
Los normales, nombres científicos, ahí voy.
Esa es toda café. Esperemos que empiece y cuando empiece, mira. We teach her how to adjust the diopter. We did it. She was like, a pro. She was a total natural. She had the angle perfect. She was locating all the birds.
¿Quieres el color del pico en este pájaro? ¿De colibrí?
Rojito.
Rojito, ¿cierto? Ave María. Esos pajareros peligrosos.
Bueno, Sofi, entonces tú me dices, ¿para dónde? ¿Para la derecha o para la izquierda?
Para la izquierda.
Tal Diego de conductor, ¿cómo lo ves?
Hay más.
We're driving up to the main reserve of the Hacienda Venecia, and this part of the coffee plantation, you can see, isn't it crazy? Like it has way more shade, more coverage, more forest. It's pretty cool actually.
This is nice habitat.
Coffee is not, taking all over the place. Super cool.
You could refer to this place, this whole coffee region experience, as comfortable birding, but in a positive way. I think sometimes there's a negative stigma that comfortable birding isn't hardcore enough, that we need to be kind of out there in the forest really bushwhacking through the jungle. But actually that isn't the way to make people fall in love with birding. In general, the way to make people fall in love with birding is to show them beautiful birds close.
So we're trying to lure in Parker sandbird. There is a couple. We just stopped here to bird with Sophie. Sophie knew this spot. And this is an endemic bird of Colombia. That is pretty cool.
It's called a Parker sandbird, endemic to Colombia. It's a hard bird to see really well. Okay, there it is. I'm seeing it now. I'm looking at it right now.
¿Qué piensas tú si tal vez te dejamos estos binoculares como unos días para que los ensayes? ¿Te gusta la idea?
Sí.
¿Será? ¿Y si eres capaz de cuidarlos?
Sí.
Pues qué tal, yo estaba pensando qué tal si en vez de un par de días decimos como tiempo infinito, toda la vida.
¿Será? ¿Que te los regalamos del todo?
¿Te parece?
Ok.
Sí.
Sí.
Gracias.
¡Qué malo!
Me regalaron estos
Porque puedo parar ya todo el
Están hermosos. Mira.
Why don't you keep it, for the rest of your life? She was like bananas.
That was a nice moment.
Yeah,
That was a nice moment.
yeah.
And that's one of the things actually I've been most excited about for these episodes that we're filming in Caldas is the ability to not just come here ourselves, look at the birds, have a nice experience and share it with the people watching back home, but also to leave positive impacts behind.
I mean, birding is a powerful tool, it's a powerful bridge, link with nature. Birding has to be more accessible, more fun, more for everyone, like it should be a more common thing.
We're not just here to look at birds, we want to find out a little bit about the entire culture of the region, and the most important thing culture in the region is coffee. It's all around us, so we're going to go with Lily here, who is the local guide at Hacienda Venecia.
Nuestra super guía de café.
Yep, and we're going to learn a lot more about coffee. We're going to go up to the coffee fields, we're going to learn how the plant grows, how they harvest the coffee. So we're going to go for a ride and go drink some coffee. Part of our experience as birders is getting to know the local place, the local culture, the customs, the environment.
How, not to have the backstage of drinking beautiful, great coffee, but knowing where it comes from and how it's processed. So that's one of the cool things you could do here while doing a little bit of birding too,
Rico. Sweet. Really sweet.
Así que nosotros acá lo hacemos manual y podemos asegurar este punto de recolección.
The crazy thing about coffee in Colombia is that all of it's picked by hand. Every single berry. And this is just, you see all of this coffee. There's coffee all over these hillsides. All of this is picked by hand, which is one of the reasons the quality is so good, because machines, for all their advancement, can't really do quality control like a human can, right? Like a human can select the ripest beans, the ripest cherries, and it just makes Colombian coffee that much better than coffee in a lot of other places.
She could see a big field with different varieties or sizes or ages of coffee, and she doesn't need details. She doesn't need her scope, let's say, to know, oh, that plantation is 2 years old, that's 5 years old, that's such variety. That tells how knowledgeable and how deep and sharp Lily, our local guide, was
for the coffee. You know?
Her way of identifying the different varieties was kind of, I suppose, for us it felt like the kind of magic that beginner birders feel when they go birding with you.
We got a Canada warbler here. Sorry, I interrupted you a little bit, but I spotted it.
Mira, aquí en esta guado, está detrás de esta primera guado.
Ay, sí, lo vi.
Sí, sí. Marcela, bienvenida al mundo de los pájaros.
Ay, sí, lo vi.
Sí.
Qué chido, hermoso. We probably sparked a little bit of Lily's, our local guide, nature or birding abilities. She was absolutely in love. I mean, who's not going to be in love with Canada warblers?
These patches of forest, the shade-grown coffee plantations, are vital stopover habitats for a host of migrant species, not just warblers.
Tons of other local birds too. Canada warbler is one of the birds that migrates the longest periods. There are Canada warblers proven to spend more than 6 months in the tropics.
They have a case to be renamed Colombian warbler.
Let's call it the sea warbler. That could be the Colombian or Canadian warbler, you know.
I would absolutely love there to be a warbler named the coffee warbler. Because warblers, I think, are maybe, if I was going to choose one of the most caffeinated kind of birds, I think I'd go with a warbler.
Yeah,
they are crazy hyperactive.
Yeah.
Toman una pequeña porción de café y lo que van a hacer es que la van a absorber fuerte, va a entrar con aire a la boca para que sea una sola aspersión, impregne toda la cavidad bucal en un solo momento.
Probably shouldn't be done, but...
Okay.
Fuerte.
So this tourism wave has been spreading, you know, across this area. And we visited Tinamou today. That is like a birders dedicated place.
A little early today here. There's some bananas that are old from yesterday. So let's see if putting some new ones, the birds are gonna be a little eager. Kind of a drizzly morning, but I mean, weather-wise is great because this is very hot, kind of lowlandish area. So having a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of clouds, is gonna help.
I love actually birding while it's raining. But sometimes it rains a little harder than, you know, you can move around. But here, look at all these fields, like black-billed thrush, blue-gray tanager, green honey creeper for first time in the morning.
Yeah.
Still raining, but we're still birding. You can use the scope, you can chill out.
There's always coffee, fresh coffee.
Yeah, there's always coffee. It's just perfecto.
That's the beauty of good feeder birds as well, is that they allow you to bird in any conditions. In most conditions, you can sit here and watch birds comfortably. We can be dry. The birds are going to eat anyway. The reason for this biodiversity and all this lush vegetation is because it rains a lot. If it didn't rain a lot, then we wouldn't have all of this that we're enjoying. So you just kind of have to roll with the punches and appreciate the rain and appreciate that it means all this forest, all these birds. One of the other species that we should highlight, what you're bringing up in the book now, the grey-headed dove.
It's a very restricted species in Colombia, only
Very
the
limited range.
Cauca River Valley, but it's a common species in Central America.
The best way to see this dove in Tinamou, because it's a very shy, very easily frightened species. We saw it in a fun little forest hive.
So we're in one of the trails here in Tinamou, a little bit more forest, as you can see. And the grey-headed dove just walk in front of Chris. He's hiding in a little hide. We could see it here. So these birds are just, you know, naturally coming to be fed. It's super cool. They are very skittish, very wary. So that's why these hides help so much. You can sit there, drink a coffee. You see one of the rarest birds around.
It's a very peaceful experience just sitting in there, because actually while you're waiting for a bird like the dove, other species come along as well. While we were there, I got nice looks just sitting there at golden-collared manakin, a male just passing through, and
green hermits were singing nearby you.
Absolutely, a couple of bar-crested antshrikes came past in the trees above, and the beautiful thing was that I was sitting in the hide and none of them were really aware of my presence, so I got nice views of species that I wasn't intending to see, but that kind of came along the way. We also enjoyed a kind of really illuminating for me experience today at Finca La Romelia, talking about orchids.
Yeah, orchids are tough to keep and tough to breed, and that's one of the things. Like if they got a tough plant, is a challenge.
The owner of Finca La Romelia, Jose, who invited us and had us in his house, really beautiful house, really traditional old house. What is he with orchids?
It's his natural passion. It became his business nowadays, that he does tourism and he goes to orchid shows and stuff. And it's probably the biggest name on orchid growing in the coffee region.
So an orchid rock star. We were
absolutely, and is the type of guy that goes every month to a different show in Manizales, in Medellín, and they earn prizes.
Colombian?
Colombiana también. La que tiene mucho olor, que también es colombiana, es la Cattleya Chole.
¿Chole?
¡Qué delicia!
Es tal vez para mí la que mejor huele.
Sí, huele muy rico,
huele
hermano.
Espectacular, y llega momentos del día en que la siente uno desde allí.
This is pretty cool, because we were asking Jose about the cattleyas, our Cattleya trianea, that is this flower that you can see down here. It's the national flower of Colombia. The orchid is our national flower, and they're absolutely stunning flowers, aren't they? Beautiful. Yeah. I would say passion is one of the things that I learned today from Jose and his orchid garden. He absolutely adores each of his plants. Yeah, he knows, where this plant came from and the story behind it. Absolutely amazing and, really inspiring story.
Una total espectacular. Y aquí está, esto es el espectáculo de los espectáculos. Que es increíble esto.
There's a lot of these hobbies that we do, and we know too well. We do one of the hobbies that's kind of unfairly, I think, dismissed as one of the kind of most boring, nerdy hobbies by people around the world. And then you meet these people doing these things. There's so much passion and inspiration and adventure involved in all of these hobbies. I know nothing about orchids, but it's contagious, that joy and that love that he has for his orchids and for the forest around him.
It's like a crest of, like a royal flycatcher, or scaly-crested pygmy tyrant.
Yeah, maybe when it's
so this
really
thing.
pissed off.
¿Cuál es el género de esto?
Ornithocephalus.
Ornithocephalus. That is ornitos, bird, cephalus, head. It looks like a head of a bird, no?
I think more from that line, like a crest going up.
It's a punky.
Like an annoyed kiskadee with his little crest going up in the air, like a mohawk. Another species that we enjoyed wonderful views of was ultramarine grosbeak. Now that's a species that it was my life for here about 7 years ago in this region, and today at Finca La Romelia we had pretty mind-blowing views of that species.
And I had seen that species only once, probably 10 years ago. I mean, it's not a common bird, and even if it's not endemic, it's a very localized bird.
La Romelia is one of the 1 or 2 places where it's possible to see that bird. Maybe among them.
Si te parecen, intentamos hacer.
We just connected with the ultramarine grosbeak. This is one of the cool neotropical birds because in Colombia it barely happens in a couple of patchy areas in the Cauca Valley. So even it's like a common widespread bird all over the South American continent, here is a rarity. Beautiful couple singing, beautifully sweet, melodious, amazing blue kind of turquoise patches on the cheeks. An unbelievable cool bird. Since we are born, we are connected with birds because we hear them all over the place. So birds are this bridge with nature that is absolutely natural and organic to every one of us, and that's what we can see on a place like this. You don't need to go to the most remote national park to see birds. I can't wait to go
to our next episode and to our next episode, but this was a blast. This was
Yeah,
an absolute
I'm
blast.
excited about the cloud forest, but I'm kind of sad to be leaving coffee country because there's so much fun and exciting and
We can
interesting
still
stuff to
be
explore
drinking
here.
coffee in the higher elevation.
Oh, we will be. You can count on it. We have to thank our partners at Koa Sporting Optics for helping us to make birding more accessible to young birders like Sophia and some special guests in our upcoming episodes.
More surprises to come.
More surprises to come, more birds to come, more adventures, more ecosystems, more of the magic of birding in Colombia. Thanks to everyone for watching at home. Please do remember, if you enjoyed this video, to like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Check out our Patreon in the link below. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Birdie Show.
Hasta mañana.